Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the Ncwlife Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And what we're looking at now is the Lost Fire, which began late Sunday afternoon. It's burning right now 9 miles north of Plain. And you're looking at helicopter drops, which we have been watching all afternoon. It started as a 50-acre fire. As you can see, it's spread to more than that now as crews continue to battle that fire in very steep terrain. And we're talking hot weather conditions. And you can see the camera moving around a little bit. This camera shot is taken from a long distance from the fire, so that'll cause it to shake a little bit. But we are seeing wind around 10 miles an hour right now, and that is not helping firefighting efforts. And we'll talk more about that fire and more fires around north central Washington coming up. But excessive heat is what we're talking about right now. We're in the upper 90s around the Wenatchee Valley, and beginning tomorrow at 1 o'clock and running through 11 o'clock Friday night, we have an excessive heat watch for almost all of eastern Washington and a big chunk of central Washington from Wenatchee all the way over to Spokane and down into the very hot areas of Tri-Cities and Walla Walla. We could see high temperatures approaching, at least in the Tri-Cities and Walla Walla area, 110 degrees by the time we get into Thursday. And we'll talk more about your upcoming weather forecast a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. The area's largest wildfire continues to be the Crescent Mountain Fire, currently at 7,671 acres. Today is primary election day across Washington state as voters make their choices on who moves along to the November general election. And the Chelan County Fairgrounds has received grant money for infrastructure improvements. But first, we begin tonight. The Cougar Creek Fire, burning 20 miles northwest of Entiat, slowly grew to 6,169 acres over the past 24 hours. And with advantageous weather conditions, firefighters last night intentionally burned vegetation near spot fires west of Tyee Lookout in order to add protection to the wildfire edge. A total of 700 personnel are working the fire, including 15 crews, 4 aircraft, 36 engines, and 9 bulldozers. Air operations dropped water as well. Crews worked on reopening Forest Road 5700 to allow better access and opportunities for more direct attack on that fire. Meanwhile, a new fire, the Lost Fire, was reported Sunday afternoon. It's about 4 miles northwest of Maverick Peak and 9 miles north of Plain. The Lost Fire is around 50 acres but growing rapidly and likely started from a lightning strike several days ago. Firefighters conducted initial attack and air tankers dropped the retardant around it. Here is Planning Operations Chief Shannon Prather with an update on both fires.
The fire did spot over into the saddle up in there. We've got about 40 acres of fire right now just on the eastern side of that ridge system. So that being said, we have forces that are engaging in there this morning, coming up with a plan to try to bring this fire back in to the ridge system. And we have forces up here in Kilo also that are actually up there looking around. We have a UAV going to go up, and it's going to look and give us some infrared and give us some good intelligence about what the fire is actually doing on the ground in there, and we're going to develop a good strategy for that. So, moving around to Whiskey, as I said, those guys got pulled out a little bit. They still have some plans to come around and contain that fire in a direct strategy, and so we have to be patient with them and let them come up with the plan this morning. Coming around to Alpha. Alpha is on staff today, and we're moving over to Delta, focusing up here above Bird Creek and trying to get a direct strategy up on Bird Creek and come around on the west side and north of the fire. I want to come over here and talk about the Lost Fire now. The Lost Fire is a big priority for the team also. We took over this fire last night, and we are managing this fire underneath Team 5. We have, as I said, we have 2 loads of smoke jumpers on the fire, 16 altogether, 8 helo repellers from Wenatchee, and a Type 2 IA crew from Wenatchee, and the Rogue River Hot Shots are inserting in there today. We have good containment on the top of the fire and coming around on the east flank, and they've got a good plan for a direct strategy attack on the Lost Fire.
Earlier this afternoon, the Cougar Creek fire did exactly what Chief Prather hoped it wouldn't do, and that's crested the ridge and is now moving down toward Entiat River Road, prompting a level 3 evacuation for Potato Creek to the end of Entiat Road on both sides of that roadway. There will also be a manned roadblock at the intersection of Potato Creek and Entiat River Road. Red Cross is on standby at the Warehouse Community Church for both fires. And there's a community meeting coming up tomorrow night concerning both of these wildfires, and that'll be held at the Plain Community Church at 7 p.m. Meanwhile, the area's largest wildfire continues to be the Crescent Mountain Fire, currently at 7,671 acres. The fire is burning 21 miles from Twisp in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest. The Arizona Type 3 team is managing that fire. Here's an update from Operations Sections Chief Mark Jameson.
Yesterday, the fire did get more active, especially on the south end, and got across Williams Creek, and on the north end, and up into the wilderness area, up to Abernathy Peak, and up on the west side toward Crescent Mountain. Fire weather allowed the fire a lot more growth yesterday than it has been the past few days. Crews yesterday were working really hard. They started opening up this road into War Creek. We're trying to get ahead of the fire, and we'll continue that action today. Really open up that road. They should complete it up into a rocky area on the backside of War Creek Ridge. We're going to continue structure protection in the Twist River Valley, and also opening up the road system in Little Bridge Creek, and looking for a way up on Thompson Ridge to get ahead of the fire, and in Buttermilk Road and Buttermilk Creek up into the pass there, and then back in all up and down the Twist River Valley. Continue our structure protection efforts and working with the county fire department.
Switching gears now, today is primary election day across Washington state as voters make their choices on who moves along to the November general election. We visited Chelan County Auditor Skip Moore earlier today, who gave us his latest estimate on today's turnout.
Right now we're looking at, I anticipated 50%. We're currently at a rate of 33%. So if the trend today, we're seeing a lot of ballots come in, big pickup in the mail, looks like a lot of activity at the drop boxes, we could be poised to hit right around 45% if the trend holds that we're seeing right now.
Voters using a drop box have until 8 o'clock tonight to deposit their ballots, with results available online at about 8:30.
We will have people positioned at every drop box across the county. At 8 o'clock, based upon cell phone time, that's about the best we can sync with, they will lock the drop box. Now, if there's a line trying to get your ballot, get up to the drop box, they'll tag the line and ensure that those that are in line at 8 o'clock can still get their ballot in the box. Otherwise, the box is locked and sealed, and that's it. There will be no other opportunity to get them in there. Right at 8 o'clock, we go back and we move results from one machine to the other and turn the raw data into results. We normally can get them on the website posted between 8:15 and 8:30. Depends on how well the interface with the state system works. There'll be 39 counties trying to upload all at the same time. Sometimes it takes a wee bit longer, but normally by 8:30 they're posted.
Links to election results are available on our website at ncwlife.com. Well, the State Department of Agriculture awarded the Chelan County Fairgrounds $80,000 to assist with facility improvements. Chelan County Commissioner Kevin Overbay says the grounds will get a small facelift with the new funds.
The old beef barn that's there at the fairgrounds will probably be coming down, and hopefully by next year we'll have a new beef barn in place. The other piece is we also approved some HVAC upgrades in some of the exhibition halls, so going to make it more of a appealing venue for our citizens and guests to come to the fair, and just kind of take care of some things that need to be taken care of there on the Capitol facilities.
The Chelan County Fair runs from September 6th through the 9th. Coming up next, the Washington Tree Fruit Association released its forecast for the 2018 Washington State fresh apple crop earlier today. A preview tonight of an upcoming Life with Lisa Bradshaw show featuring Richmond Rodriguez, the Eastmont student seriously injured prior to graduation. And the unemployment rate in the Wenatchee area for June was once again a record setter. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLife Evening News.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old, fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
Welcome back. In another news, the Washington State Tree Fruit Association released its forecast for the 2018 Washington State fresh apple crop earlier today. The 2018 forecast is for a fresh pack crop of 131 million standard 40-pound boxes of fresh apples. That's down 2% from 2017's 134 million box crop. John Devaney, president of the Fruit Association, says harvest has started for some early varieties and growers anticipate a crop of excellent quality fruit. Gala is projected to be the most numerous variety in 2018 at 24% of production, with Red Delicious at a projected 21.5%. These varieties are followed by Fuji at 13.5% and then Granny Smith at 13% of total production. Local favorites Honeycrisp is forecast to come in at 10.8%. Apple harvest typically begins in August and continues into November, and as a result, this forecast is still subject to several months of variable weather, which can affect the final harvest total. Well, in a recent sit-down interview, Lisa Bradshaw, host of the NCWLife channel show Life with Lisa Bradshaw, talked at length with former Eastmont student Richmond Rodriguez. He's the teen who was seriously injured on June 6th when he was ejected from the bed of a pickup returning from a senior campout. Here's a preview of what you'll see coming up on Lisa's show.
On June 7th, Richmond Rodriguez was in a car accident when returning home from an overnight campout with several Eastmont High School seniors on the morning of graduation. He was ejected from the bed of a truck, causing life-threatening injuries. This is the story of one family's fight for survival with an entire community of support, beginning with reuniting Richmond and the first responder who helped save his life.
Talk about punctual.
How are you?
Come on in.
Hi, Richmond.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. Yeah, you're looking really good.
Thank you.
I've been watching all the videos with you up walking around. It's amazing. I didn't think the outcome was going to be as good as it is, so.
Yeah, surprised.
It's neat to follow you through this whole thing.
On the morning of June 7th, Lisa Rodriguez, Richmond's mother, had a gut feeling that something wasn't quite right. I talked with Richmond and his parents about the phone call that instantly changed their lives.
Somebody posted a picture of a pickup truck, and I looked at it, did not recognize it, still not my kid. There was a picture of somebody laying in an orchard with some EMTs, safety people around him, but you couldn't see the face.
With the good news of Richmond returning home for the duration of his recovery, I talked with his family about what they've learned from this experience and how the community's support has influenced Richmond's healing.
When we were in the hospital, when the community and all of the students and all of the young people showed up, each one of them courteous and saying thank you and yes ma'am, yes sir, just things that you don't really realize. And for us, it made us so proud to know that those were the type of people that he either hangs out with or that care for him.
And you can see the entire interview with Richmond and his family coming up tomorrow on Life with Lisa Bradshaw at both 1 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel. Well, the unemployment rate in the Wenatchee area for June was once again a record setter. The 3.9% unemployment rate for June is the lowest reading for the month since electronic rates were started in 1990 and is 0.4% lower than the same time last year. Washington State Regional Economist Don Messick provided the report and said 1,204 more people also joined the workforce in June, that compared to June of 2017. 184 fewer people were unemployed in June, which is a 6.3% drop. Construction jobs once again saw a big jump in June, adding 300 jobs compared to last June, an increase of over 10%. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, your sports update with Eric Granstrom and our feature story tonight. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
It's a free walk-in job search assistance center. It is designed to help job seekers with the tools that they need to find a job. We have partnered with libraries in 5 other cities, providing the same types of services that we offer here, just there.
Just walk in, we have laptops, and we can help you with resume, cover letter.
All of our services are paid for by the revenues earned in our store. Goodwill is just a tool that the community is using to help their neighbors find a job. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Eastern Washington. It's a great place to call home and a great time to own a home. It's the ideal place to lay down roots for your family and your future. Gisa Credit Union thinks Eastern Washington is a great place to own a home too. That's why we offer all kinds of home loans with personal attention every step of the way. We're your home. For home loans, we're Gisa Credit Union.
Oh, hey, Nate. What you doing there?
I'm just reading a book.
A book? I didn't even know they made those anymore. Where'd you get it?
Right down the street at Yield Bookshop.
Yield Bookshop? I'm gonna go check it out.
If you're looking for a good book to read or you're in the market for some beautiful handcrafted creations from local artisans, look no further than Yield Bookshop right in the heart of downtown Wenatchee.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a good evening to you, coming to you from Brewster. I had to come down by the water to get cool because it is hot and it is hazy for day 1 of the Washington State Golfers Association Amateur Men's Championship happening at Gamble Sands Golf Course. Par 70 for the 7,000 plus yards for the 120 best golfers around the state of Washington participating in this event. And day 1 in the clubhouse with the lead at 6 under par is Issaquah's Brian Moog. Meanwhile, a couple of other Westsiders are tied for second at 5 under par. Edgewood's Mitch Baldridge and Renton's Ben Graham. They will play another round tomorrow, and then that will be pared down to 60 players for the final round on Thursday, happening here at Gamble Sands just north of Brewster. Well, the Wenatchee Apple Sox kicked their playoff hopes alive with a 7-4 win over Kelowna last night. Meanwhile, Yakima Valley did their part by falling to Corvallis by a score of 9-5. For Wenatchee, the runs came in bunches with a 3-run third and 4-run seventh. Kelowna climbed back into the game with a run in the 7th and a run in the 8th to make it 7-4 going into the 9th inning. The Falcons brought the tying run to the plates with 2 on and 1 out in the final frame, but Tyler Chipman was able to induce a 6-4-3 double play. That would end it, and the Apple Sox would win it. The win pushes Wenatchee closer to clinching a postseason berth. They'll need to win the last 2 at Kelowna and have Yakima lose one of its final 2 at Corvallis. Also in the Les Schwab scoreboard from last night in the West Coast League, we mentioned the Yakima Valley final. It was Corvallis' Zach Taylor and Trace Tomorrow hitting RBI doubles in a 3-run 6th inning. That helped the Corvallis Knights beat Yakima Valley by a final of 9-5. Taylor also hit his 3rd home run of the season. Zach Heaton and 2 relievers combined on a 5-hit shutout of Cowlitz as Walla Walla won 13-0. 6 of the 9 men in the lineup for the Sweets had at least 2 hits on the night. Rowdy Jordan was 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs to lead Victoria to a 4-2 win over Portland. All eyes are in Kelowna and Corvallis tonight in the West Coast League schedule. The Knights host the Pippins just started at 6 o'clock. The Apple Sox and Falcons will start at 6:35. That's also the same start time for Walla Walla at Cowlitz and Portland's at Victoria. The Wenatchee 12U baseball team begins pool play tonight at the Cal Ripken World Series in Phoenix City, Alabama. Wenatchee, representing the Pacific Northwest, takes on Pacific Southwest today. The winner will advance to face Virginia State champs tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the semifinals. The losers will drop to the iron bracket and will play against the winner of Ohio Valley and Middle Atlantic. That's tomorrow at 5:30. The Mariners squandered a 3-0 lead, but were able to come back and win it in 12 innings against Texas on the road last night. The final was 4-3. Mike Zunino's solo home run gave Seattle a 1-0 lead in the 4th. The M's added 2 more in the 6th off an RBI single by Cameron Maben, and then Maben scored on D. Gordon's double play ball. Starter Wade LeBlanc was relieved with 1 out in the 7th, but the bullpen faltered, allowing 3 runs to tie it. It was finally Ryan Healy's RBI single in the 12th that scored Mitch Haniger with a go-ahead run. Edwin Diaz allowed 2 aboard in the bottom of the 12th, but got the final outs to save his 42nd game of the season. The 2 teams play again tonight. It's the Geritol game as we have Felix Hernandez, 32 years old, taking on Bartolo Colon, the ageless 45-year-old for the Texas Rangers. Also in the American League West on last night, Andrelton Simmons and Eric Young Jr. each homered to lead L.A. to a 6-2 win over Detroit, and Marwin Gonzalez crushed a 3-run home run at the top of the ninth to lead Houston to a come-from-behind 3-1 win over San Francisco. The Oakland A's were idle. With sports up here in Brewster at the Gamble Sands Golf Course for the 92nd Washington State Golf Association Men's Amateur Championship, I'm Eric Grandstrom on the NCW Life Channel. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric, and stay cool. Tonight marks the 35th anniversary of the National Night Out event. It's a chance to promote police-community partnerships and neighborhood camaraderie. In tonight's feature story, Captain Edgar Reinfeld with the Wenatchee Police Department explains how National Night Out got its start.
This is actually the 35th year of National Night Out. It is a national program that sprang out of back east with a kind of a block watch-like concept, but it was a newsletter that started to tell people what's going on in their community and what's going on with crime stuff. It grew into an event that then grew into this National Night Out 35 years ago. The idea is to give people in the community, whether they live here, visit here, work here, come meet their law enforcement, express their concerns, hear what we do, see what we do. We have really grown the event starting last year when we closed Wenatchee Avenue and Yakima Street for the first time. The other closure involved is Yakima Street from Mission to Wenatchee Avenue. Chelan's not involved. So the L along Centennial Park will be closed. But in the street will be some fire trucks, some police cars, probably the SWAT team vehicles from both counties, along with officers to talk and just answer people's questions. Additionally, there are 22 organizations that will have some sort of presence there, from a variety of social service agencies, law enforcement agencies, Rivercom, will all be there with information booths to help pass that information and provide other information about services in the valley. The real goal here is to have the community meeting and meet. A big part of it is the panel. We've actually got 9 people sitting on the panel this year. So a chief or senior representative from each of our local law enforcement agencies, the 4 agencies we all know, the 2 sheriff's offices, the 2 police departments, but also the State Patrol, the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife, Department of Corrections locally, and at least one of the fire departments. We'll all be sitting on the panel to take some questions and to give just a brief rundown of what's going on. It's a great event. There's free food, there's stuff for kids, there's stuff for everybody, and we encourage the whole community to come out.
And just a heads up, Reinfeld says there will be street closures to accommodate the event.
6 to 7:30 is the core of the event. We will be closing down Yakima at Mission down to Wenatchee Avenue, and then Wenatchee Avenue from Yakima down to Orondo Street, starting probably about 5 to 5:30. It'll depend when Public Works starts setting barricades and cones. The materials are already stacked out, so it'll go quickly. All that will be torn down by about 8 o'clock.
Tonight's event will include entertainment, free food, kids' games, and more. National Night Out runs from 6 to 7:30 at Centennial Park. We'll be back with your complete local weather forecast right after this.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging in Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
Welcome back to the NCW Life Evening News. Time now for a check of your local North Central Washington weather forecast. And before we get to our very hot surface loop, I need to tell you excessive heat watch in effect. That will begin tomorrow at 1 o'clock and run all the way through Thursday until Friday at 9 p.m. Also on Thursday morning, a fire weather watch will go into effect, and that will run into Saturday morning. Yeah, we're going to have some breezes and maybe thunderstorms. Let's take a look at that surface loop, and I'll show you what's happening. Temperature-wise, yeah, it's going to be hot. We know that. Temperatures today, mostly in the mid to upper 90s throughout most of north central Washington. It's going to get hotter, folks, as we move into the middle of the week on Wednesday. Look at that red area in southeastern Washington creeping up into the Wenatchee area. Even as far east as Spokane tomorrow could see 100 degrees, and even hotter than that on Thursday. We could possibly have the hottest temperatures of anywhere in the continental United States on Thursday, possibly 107 in Wenatchee, 110 possibly for folks down around the Tri-Cities. Friday, it gets a little bit better. We'll still be fairly hot, though, in the mid to upper 90s. But notice around Victoria Island off the northwest corner of Washington, there is an area of low pressure spinning there. That will move through, and look how it cools us down on Saturday. We'll see highs on Saturday, almost 15 to 20 degrees cooler. Unfortunately, winds will also kick up Friday night, and there is a 20% chance of thunderstorms as we move into Friday night. Let's take a look at your quick lube and tune forecast now. 71, the overnight low tonight, 103 Wednesday, possibly record-setting heat on Thursday, 107, 104 is our old record. And then the cool down begins, 97 Friday with a 20% chance of storms. 80% Saturday, 85 degrees Saturday, 89 on Sunday, and back to the 90s on Monday at 92. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around north central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and News with Steve Hare. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
This is TV. This is TV Set Free. TV everywhere from Localtel sets you free to watch what you want, where you want. Catch your favorite networks, including live TV, ready to watch on any web-connected device for no extra charge. That's TV set free. Enjoy the extra value LocalTel delivers with TV everywhere. Visit localtel.net and sign up.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.